Hello and welcome to the pre show for the Profit Visibility Lab. My name is Juhl Tayler Lenard, your host, and I am super excited that you are here. This week is a good one because this is a topic. Outreach is a topic that I swear I have been, working on it feels like my entire existence. But I'm really looking forward to sharing some things that are going to help you out in the outreach department. Not about demo, not about tools, but really understanding what is happening here with outreach and what are the pieces of it. So I'm super excited about it. Couple housekeeping items. One is if you have not done so already, register because when you register, you have access. It's only one time to register for the entire Profit Visibility Lab every single week. And then that will allow you to receive the replay, the slides, and also any resources that I shared during this lab. The second thing is that we are using YouTube as the main stage. This allows everyone who participates, whether they have a private profile or a public profile on LinkedIn, it allows you to be able to leave comments so I can see you. That's just easier to work out that way. And then go ahead and head on over. I'm going to drop a link into the comments so that you can head on over to YouTube. And the other thing I want to share is we are introducing one of our visioneers. You will notice this backdrop here is the situation room for Crystal Ops Universe. It's our location where we do our masterful work to guard scale. And so we're introducing Miss Follow Through Fury today as our visioneer. So you want to make sure to hop in and learn all about her and how she can help you to become a master at outreach and follow-ups. Welcome to Profit Visibility Lab. Today, we have a great topic. And the reason why this topic is near and dear to my heart is because as a founder, I have spent countless hours and countless tools on countless different situations trying to figure this out. And what I discovered is it's not just a tool and it's not just a process. There's a lot more to it. So today we're going to focus on a few things here. And I'm going to try and keep my screen straight because, I'm learning. We're back. Oh. Welcome to Profit Visibility. That's the life of a founder, right? Fail forward, fix it, and move on. So, okay, we're back. If you've ever said, people fall off and I don't know why, or my follow-up needs work, or I lose track of conversations, or my pipeline just feels too quiet, then this session will give you clarity and structure and momentum. I swear, I think I've turned everything off. Okay. All right. So what you'll learn today, you won't learn how to switch your screens and keep your mic down, but this is better than that. Okay. What you'll learn today is why leads disappear, the simple rhythm behind consistent follow through, how to make your outreach feel light instead of heavy, and the 3 phases of an effective outreach, how to track pipeline movement with ease, and why some founders naturally build momentum and how you can become one of them. Okay. There's no tools today. We're not doing any demos. This is about pure education because you know what I found out is that a lot of times we'll buy tools or we'll invest in things, but we really don't understand the dynamic of what's needed because we don't really fully understand, or at least for me, I didn't really understand how everything worked together, and it made it difficult to choose the right investment. But with the education, you can make the right choices. And that's my hope for you. So the reason why this matters is that businesses don't stall overnight. They stall in the moments between the conversations. Like that happens before you even know it. The momentum isn't magic, but it's the accumulation of these activities and touches that do result in momentum. Today, we're going to build clarity and rhythm around the touches that make your outreach effective. Okay. This is Miss Follow Through Flurry, one of our visioneers in the Crystal Ops universe. As I mentioned earlier, we are in the situation room. And so she is the guardian of momentum. And so this is what Follow Through Fury represents for you. She represents the consistency, rhythm, and stamina that keeps conversations alive and moving, even when life gets busy. Because as a founder, we don't get to put it on pause, do we? We have to keep moving. And so anything that helps us to keep moving is going to help our business to grow and scale and be repeatable and systematic to help us to really get more done in less time, right? When life gets busy, when things slip up, she restores movement. When follow-up fades, she brings focus. Where overwhelm creeps in, she simplifies. Fury symbolizes the human side of follow through and the calm confidence that comes from structure. The real reason outreach fails. And there's kind of three areas that we look at, right? 100% automated is cold and ignored. Okay. It's cold and ignored. People see it coming a mile away and they're like, automation can send messages, but it can't build trust. This is the this is the fatal flaw in 100% automation. Okay, so that's not going to work. Then there's 100% manual. I know people who have run their outreach with, index cards, notebooks, spreadsheets. There's all kinds of different ways, but 100% manual outreach fails because your memory fails, or people still slip through the cracks. I had spreadsheets and tools and all this kind of stuff. People still fall through. But this is me. I ended up doing outreach in bursts instead of a rhythm. I couldn't get consistent, right? This was me. Maybe this is not a problem for you, but for me, it was a challenge. So that's not going to work. But what we can do is we can find structure in the middle ground. That's where the solution is. And it's having a predictive structure that you can follow on a regular basis and that allows you to engage with people without taking away from your authenticity. Okay? Because with the automated, even the manual, even if you're following a system, it can feel robotic or not natural. But we want something that's natural, that can be fun and still move our business forward, right? The 3 phases of outreach. So Follow Through Fury is going to help us out. Phase 1 is when we initiate. This is starting meaningful conversations, whether it's, face-to-face, or it's at an event, or you meet someone at a conference, or you meet someone online, a digital event, or you talk to someone, or someone refers you, however these people come into your world, the point is just start a meaningful conversation. Phase 2 is to engage with this contact, right? And so you want to add value while maintaining warmth. There's a lot of back and forth that goes around. Well, do you reach out? Do you build rapport? Do you just go straight for the solution? Are you direct, or you try to, make conversation? And my preference, I tend to be direct. So I really just want you to tell me what you're going to tell me and tell me how you can help me. But I realize that everyone is not like that. And so I needed to develop, how can I add value? Because at the end of the day, even if someone comes straight to me with a solution, I don't really care, about you getting to know me, but I do care that you're going to teach me or show me something that's going to help me to grow my business better or to solve a problem. And for that, I'm cool with that, as long as you're nice to me. Now, if you're not nice, I've had some people that were not nice, and I just told them, you weren't nice, but you can get past that. And then that's a typo. Phase 3 is follow through. You want to, and this is where, I have fallen down, I don't know how many millions of times, is return to people with consistency and clarity. Like you know why you're following up with them, and you're helping them along this journey. And the goal is not intensity, it's rhythm. It's having a consistent way to do this and bring your business forward. So small touches, Consistent momentum equal predictable outcomes. Okay. Now, this is how structure makes it easy. When you work without structure, and I'm going to do a comparison, okay? When you work without structure, every decision feels heavy. Oh, what do I say when I follow up? Oh, how often should I follow up? You rely on memory, even if you have a tool. If it doesn't really help you, because I've had tools, but the tools only help to a point. They didn't really help me to do me, right? You second guess the timing. You question yourself. You feel behind even when you're trying, like you're doing the work and you feel behind it, or you just don't do the work. This doesn't work. I'm sorry. It just does not work. So, but I found when I add a little structure that works the way I work, which is I just want to do the human part and I don't want to deal with the follow up and the reminders and all that kind of stuff. I just want something to tell me what I need to do and who I need to talk to and where we're at. And that's it. I don't want to think about it. So you know who to contact. You know why you're contacting them. Okay. You know the next step, like what comes after the next contact, and you feel in control. This is where I want to be. And this is where I hope that I can help you to go in your outreach, because structure is like outreach for the rest of us. I mean, there's some unicorns out there, some people who are like really effective at follow up and banging out 80 to 100 contacts. I mean, I know all those people exist. I've listened to them, I've seen them, but I'm not one of them. So I consider a little light structure is like structure for the rest of us, right? Like we all want to be successful, and not everyone has that outreach superpower. So, like follow through flurry. Fury. Okay, phase one. Let's go a little deeper. The purpose of warm outreach. What is the purpose? Okay. The purpose of warm outreach is simple. You want to create meaningful openings for conversation, not pressure. At the end of the day, you can't pressure someone into buying your thing. You might be able to if they're really desperate and they're just looking for a solution. So they take a shot, like they say, oh, well, let me try. But that's not really the relation. I don't know about you, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to help. And so what it looks like in practice is initiating relevant value-based touches, I call them touches, engaging with people who are already showing signals. They're interested. They actually really do have the problem that you saw. And then we can have a whole nother conversation about how important it is to know who your ideal customer is, because a lot of this revolves around understanding who you're serving, right? And then inviting people into conversations rather than pushing. Let's talk about it. You can't solve someone's problem without understanding what it is they're facing, right? And staying present without being persistent in a negative way. Look, people are busy. They have things going on, their relationships going on, there's society going on, there's family, there's things going on. So it's not, what I have found is that it's not necessarily that people maybe don't want to move forward, but they need consistent engagement to allow what you're sharing to fit somewhere into their lives at a point where they can actually make a decision and embrace and understand. And there's a lot of cognitive load, especially if your clients are B2B. There's cognitive load involved that is beyond, sometimes what we can bear as founders, but it's there. So when you're consistent and present and persistent in following up, it's not nagging, it's being there for them and helping them to have an opportunity to understand more about what you do and what I do. Okay. So warm outreach is about visibility and connection. So they see who you are and you connect with them. That's what the warmness. It's not selling, it's not chasing, it's just creating open doors. Open doors. Just think open doors. Phase two is what happens after the engagement. So you have a conversation. So once the conversation begins, the goal now is to diagnose, to go from visibility to clarity, to help them understand the problem. So here you focus on understanding where a person is in their journey, asking questions that reveal alignment, helping people articulate their real challenge, and guiding toward an appropriate next step. Okay. Um, and knowing when to move forward and when not to. Sometimes it's just not a good time. Sometimes they're just not ready. I've learned this. Sometimes I'm not ready, right? But I know when people follow up with me, I'm listening. Okay. So the conversation part is about diagnosis and direction. You're looking for fit. You're seeing, can I help this person to move forward with their goals, and can I support them? And that is the most valuable form of influence, when you can listen, understand what's needed, and then that allows you to help them to understand what's missing and how best to move forward in their own self-interest. Okay. Phase three is the follow through rhythm. Okay. Follow through is where most founders lose momentum. So if you make it, you met the people, you had the conversation, but now you need to follow up. That's that persistent connection. It's not because you don't care, but it's just life gets loud. It gets in the way. And so what do? So here's the truth. Consistency beats intensity every single time. If you feel like you can't reach out and you feel like you can't do this, you're going to lose leads every single day, where you could be gaining relationships every single day. It's all about follow through and consistency. Okay. Speaking of uh, follow through fury has a rhythm. Okay. It's simply returning to conversations with intention. Not just, hey, how you doing? But really, what do you need? Well, here's something I thought would be helpful for you. Well, here's something that might solve a problem you share with me. Staying on top of mind without being pushy. Content. I know a lot of people don't like to do content, but I feel like if I can share information consistently over time, people keep seeing my face showing up in their feed, they won't forget about me. Okay. My goal is to be unforgettable. And then creating movement through small, thoughtful touches, right? And so this is leadership. This is the leadership phase of outreach. As founders, we need to be leaders in all areas of our business. And in outreach, this is the area where we can shine. This is where follow through fury shines. Not because she pushes harder, but because she moves with rhythm, not force. Pipeline momentum score. So this is something that you can check just to see where are you. You might not know where you're at. You're like, oh, I'm going to a bunch of events and I meet a bunch of people. Like, where's my pipeline looking like? If you want predictable revenue and measure momentum, not just results, then you got to ask yourself this question weekly. Now, this was a shocker for me. Because well, I won't go there. So you ask yourself weekly, how many conversations move forward? This cuts through all the BS. This cuts through how many hours were you on social media, how many engagement posts did you make, how many people stuff that you add a post to. This cuts through all the crap that we tell ourselves, that I tell myself about this activity. How many conversations move forward? That is the key metric. So here are the four indicators of momentum. This is how you know you're moving forward. Momentum has four indicators. New conversation started. Again, let's not fool ourselves. I'm trying not to fool myself. I like to live in my imagination. I'm a pretty creative person, but I have to be grounded and say, okay, how many new conversations did you start this week? How many existing conversations progressed? Did you follow up? Did you understand what the people were focused on? Like, these are things that we have to do. How many past conversations were reactivated? And how many warm contacts did you nurture? Did you stay in front of? We have to track movement, not emotion. Talking to myself. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me, right? And so when we do this, momentum tells the truth long before the revenue shows up. If you ask yourself the question, man, why is my revenue not where it needs to be? You come back to these three questions, or four questions, or four stats, and these indicators will tell you everything you need to know about your revenue number. I assure you, I've been there, done that, working on it. So why does outreach feel heavy anyway? I mean, it's just talking to people, trying to solve a problem and helping them, right? Why is it so hard? It feels heavy when every message has to start from a blank page. You don't know what to say. I run into a lot of people who, complain because, they go to a networking event and they say, oh, well, no one ever follows up with me. Don't take it personal. I personally think it's because they don't know what to say. They don't know what follow up looks like. And so they may genuinely have enjoyed the engagement with you. I mean, I've met a ton of people that I really enjoyed talking to them. I really felt like they could benefit from what I have, but I didn't really know what to say. I lost track. I didn't have a process. And so it was hard to follow up. And then you rely on memory instead of structure. Oh man, I forgot to call so-and-so, right? How many times have I done that? There's no clarity about who's next, what's next. And the energy decides consistency. It's like, oh, I don't feel like following up today. I got too many no's yesterday. I think I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna. I don't know. Scroll. Like these are habits that I admit I have, and then I'm moving past. Right, but it's true. And then you're treating outreach like a sprint instead of a rhythm. You're like, oh, I need to. It's the end of the year. I need to reach out. I need to get a bunch of people in. When really we have to be consistent in building pipeline every single day. This is my truth that I'm sharing with you, and it absolutely is the truth. So, but with structure, there's a different story that I get to tell myself, right? When I shift to a light, not a whole bunch of structure, not a whole lot, because as a founder, I got a lot of different stuff to do. I wear all the hats. And even when you bring people on board, you still have to train them, right? So your brain gets to relax. You don't have to think about it. I'm telling you, I'm going to share later about the system that I created for me. I don't want to think. I just want to go, send message, move, move on, do something else, right? And your brain relaxes, your effort becomes intentional. I feel more on top of things when I can be intentional. And the activity is sustainable. I'm not wondering, oh my gosh, how can I fix this time? How can I be better next time? It's consistent and sustainable. And then it becomes predictable. And I can measure. And when I can measure, I can do things that matter. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. And outreach becomes light when it becomes organized. The more organized I can be, the more consistent I can be. This is what is matters in terms of growth. Now, how to make outreach light and repeatable? This is the question. The founders who stay consistent aren't more disciplined. They have more support. They use simple messaging patterns, predictable weekly rhythms, clear categories of people, tiny habits that compound over time, and then a clear definition of movement. What does it look like when I'm doing what I need to do, right? Each small step removes guesswork and follow through becomes almost effortless. Almost effortless, but really that's what we want because we need to be consistent. Fury's Daily 3. This is what follow through Fury has for us. To build momentum, just 3 things that we need to do each and every day. And you're going to be surprised at how little it is. Start one new conversation. Move one existing conversation forward and nurture one warm relationship. Just one. Because this is about momentum, not 30 actions, not 3 hours. I swear I've spent entire days, right? Just 3 micro movements that create exponential consistency over time. You're building a muscle. It's just like weight training. You're building a muscle. And then Fury isn't about volume. It's about rhythm and consistency. So you could bang out 80 conversations and this is something to think about too. You could bang out 80 conversations in a day. But what you have to think about after that is, how am I going to follow up with all those people? Really, and create the right experience. So it's not like about volume, like getting people through. It's about a rhythm that allows you to build those relationships in a way that help people to enter your world, find out about your world, and understand how you can solve their problem. Okay. Tools that support this. The specific tool doesn't matter. The Profit Visibility Lab is tool agnostic. We're talking about how to do things here. The specific tools don't matter. What matters is the role that they play. So here's what you need. Any tool that will help you remember who to connect with, organize people into meaningful groups, keep track of what happened last, lower the mental load of follow-up, and prompt you at the right time. Yes, quality over quantity. Absolutely. This will support your outreach rhythm. Okay. Your method drives the results. The tool simply assists you. Okay. Now, let's look at the before and after. So before, your leads disappear, your follow-up is inconsistent, conversation stall, pipeline feels unpredictable. We don't want that, right? But after you have this little structure, you have this daily micro movement, you clear conversation flow, consistent follow-through, and predictable pipeline momentum, then this is what we want. Small changes bring big visibility and repeatable results and bigger revenue clarity. Okay. Now, so you've already learned the why and the what today. What we want to, let me give you a name for this whole thing. Let's give this whole thing a name. All right. I want to introduce you to, this is the tool that I created for me because I was struggling. Okay. It's the Outreach Power Engine. And what it does is, now that you understand the rhythm and the psychology behind the consistent outreach, I'm going to show you the simple model that ties it all together. And it's basically a 3-part structure, keeps conversations warm, prevents leads from disappearing, and builds predictable momentum. This is not software and it's not automation. It's a clarity framework that you can apply to any outreach. It's platform agnostic, the approach, which is what I love about it. And again, you can, let me just clarify, you can build this on your own. You can assemble tools to do it on your own. I'm simply giving you visibility to let you know, because sometimes I don't share and let people know what I do. And so I'm letting you know that there's a way that I can help. The Outreach Power Engine is 3 components. There's a warm lead engine, is where we start conversation. That takes us from visibility to connection. And this is where you initiate, invite, and open doors. Then there's the operational lead engine, where we move the conversation forward. Connection to clarity. This is where you guide, diagnose, and help people discover the help that they actually need, that you can help them with. And then there's a follow-through rhythm that keeps the conversation alive until they're ready to make movement. But we're helping them to develop clarity so that to gain momentum. And this is where consistency compounds and results come through daily action. Okay. Now, that's it. Human where it matters, structure where it counts. I love that. I mean, the thought of there's a human element, and then there's structure, and then there's automation. Those are different things. And then if you want support building the structure, I can definitely help you think through it. But that's really, that's the gist of it. This is how I support founders. If you'd like to apply this rhythm inside your business, I help founders with this. Identify your natural conversation flow, create simple messaging templates, define warm, engaged, and follow through stages, design a rhythm that can actually sustain itself, and reduce mental load by remembering who's next. Now, and you don't need more hustle. You need a structure that supports the way you communicate. Now, mine may be a little heavy because I actually built in workflows to where I just push a button and then it sends me another reminder. Like it's really, I need it to be stupid simple for me. So that's what I built. But so if you're interested in that, then you can schedule a Clarity Connect chat. This is where we do that diagnosis piece. If this helped you today to see outreach more clearly, and you want to support building a rhythm in your business that feels light and simple and sustainable, then this is what we'll do in the Clarity Connect chat. We'll map out where your conversations are getting stuck. We'll map out where momentum begins, and it's different depending on the nature of your business. What your follow-through rhythm could look like, and it'll depend on how you like to work, right? And then where you can simplify instead of scale complexity. I have done this too. We wanted to keep it simple. The way you book a clarity call, it's not a demo, it's not a pitch, it's a diagnosis. It's where we look at your business and the structure and understand what would move fastest. And we talk about what support might look like, only if it makes sense for you, right? And then you can schedule, this is where you can schedule your diagnostic. I put a link down in the comments as well. And so that concludes today. I hope you learned something from it that can help you. This is next week. The data defense strategy, protecting your business from silence, loss, and system gaps. A founder can't scale what they can't safeguard. And And on the Profit Visibility Lab, I'm actually sharing what I'm working on, right? So one of the things that I'm working on is building out a structure to allow for proper safeguarding of client information, backups, and all those things. Because if all you're using is Google Workspace, you probably need you need some backup, especially if you're dealing with client data. And so that's what that's about. That's next week. And just want to follow up on this note. If this content is helping you, then definitely make sure to register for future sessions. When you register, you only register once, and then you're in for all of the Profit Visibility Labs every Tuesday at 2. But it does allow you to get slides, replays, and any resources that come out of these sessions. There will be, some sessions will have tools and things. I think for last week, I'm going to provide a tool for that. So then this is the reflection for this week. I want you to take this with you and think about it, and definitely schedule your Clarity Connect chat if you think it will be helpful. What's one insight that you're taking with you today? I see Rhythm of Quality. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate your input. This is amazing. And then the other one is, what's one conversation you'll move forward this week? Notice I didn't say 20. I didn't say pull out all your business cards and go to work. Just think of one conversation to move you forward this week. And then I'll see you next Tuesday on the Profit Visibility Lab. Bye for now.